Oof, the market is tough right now. Interest rates are going up and we don't even know when they're gonna stop. Inventory is high, buyers have choice, but more than that, they're waiting for the bottom to sink in so that they can get in at the lowest point. Hey guys, what's up? It's your man Pete, and back with a video to talk a little bit about home sellers. I mean, I know mostly on my channel here, we talk mostly about buyers, how to help buyers get into the market, how to analyze the market, how to sort of manage your risk a little bit. But from time to time, I do content for sellers as well too, because I have so much experience that's just oozing out of me, and so I know what's going on in the market right now, where there's sort of a bit of a mismatch in prices and sellers having to lower their expectations and buyers just not really willing to pay what sellers want. But I'm back with some fresh content here to help the home sellers, think about the market a little bit differently. I mean, I know it's really tough right now. It's emotionally, physically draining, especially if you're not getting any showings at your property. But today I'm going to give you some pointers and tips on how to think about the market and how you should adjust yourself, and of course why you should be working with us here at Selling Toronto so we can help you get it done faster. But we'll see you on the other side right after this. Okay, and we're back, and I know it's really nasty out there for sellers right now. They're either not getting any offers, or if they're getting offers, they're lowball offers, and half the time those buyers aren't even really serious anyways. But even worse than that is when you go through all this effort of getting your property for sale, you clean it up, you fix things, you try to get it out there at a reasonable time, and then when you get it out there, nobody's coming to look at the property. That is probably the very worst situation that you can be in as a home seller, especially if you've already purchased something already. And believe me, I've taken my lumps and my bumps over the years working in this business, and it's not fun. It's definitely one of the most pressure cooking situations that you could be in, where you bought something already, you need to close on this existing property so that you can move on. It doesn't happen very often where people actually get stuck or caught in a moment like this. And this situation here just happens to sort of be one of the most extended lulls we're going to have in the market for the next couple of months. You want to work with the right people who can help you manage the situation, manage your expectation, and of course get you to the finish line so that you can sell, move on, and finally take a breath of fresh air. Selling real estate ain't easy, kids. Just because it looks easy, it doesn't mean it is. And so sometimes, yeah, it is tempting to hire a family member or a friend, somebody who just got their license, and you really want to help them out. I totally get that. I understand that. Especially in situations like these that we're experiencing right now in the market, you really got to work with somebody experienced. Now, not to say that the experienced person is going to be able to deliver magic and just make things happen, but they understand things a little bit better. They've been through something like this before, and they can explain to you what's really going on and give you options on how you should approach the next new listing or the new price change. And frankly speaking, in our business in real estate, our job is to make ugly things look better or look prettier. And believe me, when it comes to people's homes and money, it doesn't get any uglier than that, especially when results are not happening. Which is why, frankly speaking, real estate people deserve to get paid the big bucks, because we're supposed to handle difficult problems and situations such as this right now. So this kind of market right now will definitely separate the wheat from the chaff in terms of who is a good professional real estate agent and who is not. Overall, nothing's really changed fundamentally about the market. I think the demand and the supply is just about the same. It's just that rates keep going up, and the threat of rates continuing to go up to battle inflation is really what's dominating the headlines and what's really occupying a lot of space in people's minds right now. And so what that invariably means is a lot of people are backing off. There's a lot of people literally renting properties right now because they just don't see themselves buying in the next year. And so a lot of buyers are just really trying to ride this out and see what's going to happen in terms of interest rates over the next 6 to 12 months. And so as a seller right now here in 2022, in the spring and summer, we have to face a new reality. And this is what happens when markets run up and then they sort of slow down again. And so how do you manage that type of situation? It is going to take an incredible amount of patience, some out-of-the-box thinking, and some real guts to sell your property right now, because it's tough out there depending on the neighborhood that you're in. There's still some parts of Toronto where properties are still flying off the shelves, still bidding wars is still pretty intense, and sellers are still getting their prices. But at this point right now, if you absolutely do not need to sell, then it's probably a good idea just to sort of take the house off the market for a few months, monitor the situation a little bit, and then then maybe you can sell in the deep summer or early fall. And so when situations like these happen, like it's important to be a little bit more flexible, right? Like you got to find some flexibility. You know, maybe you can get a loan short term and you can sort of hang on to your property and rent it out and still be able to close on your other property. There's a lot of financial things that can get worked out here. Or maybe you can actually negotiate the closing date with the other house that you purchased and also negotiate with the seller over there, just so everybody doesn't start suing each other. Please consult your real estate lawyer. I am not a lawyer. But the name of the game right now is to find some flexibility. Give yourself a little bit more time. Give yourself a little bit more runway. Pretty sure real estate lawyers are incredibly busy right now because a lot of people trying to back out of deals. And then of course you have to really start thinking about the price, right? So yeah, of course you cannot expect the same price that you were going to get earlier in the year. You may have to manage your expectations a little bit, you know, depending on the neighborhood that you're in. Obviously in the GTA, outer region, outer suburbs, that's getting hit the hardest because frankly, they've also gone up the most aggressive. But with all the headwinds surrounding interest rates throughout this year and maybe even into early next year, if you absolutely need to sell, then yeah, you might have to take a bit of a haircut on the sale of your property just so you can move on and move forward with your life and not have to deal with this stress long term. You know, frankly speaking, if you were a buyer and you were out there right now, you'd probably be hunting for a deal as well too. So let's try to understand each other a little bit, okay guys? And if you're an agent out there, you know, don't be afraid to entice the buyers out there. Don't be afraid to engage with them, to talk with anybody who shows even any remote interest. Make sure you accept every single offer, look at it, and just make sure your client doesn't get offended. Of course, when it comes to preparing your property for sale, of course, it's got to look top notch. House has to look amazing, obviously, because then you know that you put your best foot forward, and then no matter what happens, you know at least you did your best. What you don't want to do is sort of half prepare a place, and then you're not really sure, is it because of the place that's not selling, or is it because of the price that's not selling, or is it because of the overall economics? At least if you can take care of this side and know that you've done your best to make the property look as best as it possibly can, then you can just deal with the other things. In mathematics, that's called holding things constant and then dealing with the variables. And so yeah, in the last Trev report, sales figures were down almost 40%. So that basically suggests that there's a huge mismatch in the market right now in terms of what a buyer is willing to pay versus what a seller is willing to sell for. I'm sure that gap will close out over the next couple of months, but it'll be interesting to see if prices will drop below 1.2, although I don't really see that happening. And if it does, it'll probably be just a hair under 1.2, but you know, it really depends on inflation numbers. It really depends on how high interest rates are going to get ratcheted up, and then obviously how quickly they're going to get hiked. But yeah, as a buyer out there, it's obviously a very good time to be looking at properties because you're going to see a lot of good properties. Interest rates are still somewhat low, so if you can lock into them right now versus locking into them 6 months down the road, I don't know, you might actually be able to buy a better house right now. But of course, you don't have to agree with me on that, and it really depends on your own personal situation. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you, and you know, if you're thinking of selling, or if you are already selling and you're having some trouble and you just need to get results, you definitely want to give us a shout here so that we can advise you properly. We will walk you through everything, and we will show you how experienced and how professional we can be here at Selling Toronto. Contact is in the description box below, and I really appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.